Hello, Paulo Leite here, record collector. Today I am in Minneapolis, Minnesota, USA, and I'm going to be visiting Roadrunner Records. Let's go inside. Roadrunner is in business for over 30 years, and as you can see, Roadrunner is not a big record shop, but it has a very nice, highly curated collection. And today I am in the mood to find great bands that only released 1 or 2 albums before disappearing completely. Bands you should rediscover. And also, recently I realized I haven't given gatefold albums the proper attention they deserve. So let's see what I will find here. Keep watching. Let's see their new vinyl collection. It covers this area right here. Plenty of new vinyl. And we find gold right here. Album 1970 by Assemblage. You know, this has always been a mystery to me. Assemblage was a band from Detroit, Michigan, which means their name is spot on. Their sound is a mix between glam rock and funk, and I think they were brilliant. But for some reason, after just 1 album, they vanished completely. This is not extraordinary in itself, since there are tons of bands that, after just 1 or 2 albums, disappeared and reconfigured into another band. Rod Stewart, Eric Clapton, and Trevor Horn are examples of just that. But in the case of Assemblage, they just vanished. And it is puzzling to me because their only album is incredibly well produced, and they were great musicians. There is very little about them that one can find. But here it is. This album should be rediscovered, and it is great that it has been reissued. Now, even more interesting, Socializing with Angel Pavement, 2019 by Angel Pavement. This British band from the 60s did not even get to release 1 album. They started recording material for their first album back in 1969, but for several reasons, in my opinion, poor management decisions, they only released 2 singles that did not chart. They ended up disbanding in 1970, with 1 member joining Decameron, another great band. By the way, I found one of their albums at Radio Gaga in Potsdam, Germany. The link is at the top of your screen right now, but I digress. Anyway, this album is an anthology that brings together their recordings for the record that never happened. Totally worth it. Join In, 1973 by Ashra Temple. What are they doing here? This is a great German band with a beautiful sound. They did have a great career. This is psychedelic rock at its best. Whatever She Brings, We Sing, 1972 by Kevin Ayers. Beautiful, beautiful album. I love Kevin Ayers. He was a founding member of Soft Machine. He was one of the most brilliant musicians I ever heard. Huge orchestra playing here, and a beautiful one too. This album demands your attention. Take this to the bank. Enjoying this video? Please give it a like and subscribe. There is more great content coming soon. Paris, 1919, 1973 by John Cale. Great album. Oh, it's Ozzy really dead? Please, say it isn't so. Cookie asks, how do you choose the albums when you make your videos? Well, Cookie, in all of my videos, I try to follow one single rule. I only pick what I like. So, these videos are a reflection of my own taste. Sometimes I may pick something I don't necessarily like, just to better illustrate a shop's collection on a genre I like less. Also, sometimes I may skip albums that I love, either because I have covered them before, or because I don't have a lot to say about them since they are very well known. Eden's Children, 1968. This was their second and last album. They did not go very far, but they were lots of fun. And here's another band that just vanished. Goodbye Girl is such a beautiful song, but the entire album is beautifully produced. Now, my theory is that at the time there must have been a serial killer of bands on the loose. Go figure. Shake the Hand of a Fool, 2018 by Johnny Hallyday. This is a double album, an expanded version of Johnny Hallyday Sings America's Rocking Hits from 1962. Johnny Hallyday was huge in Europe, not so much in America, but I think Americans who don't know him should give him a try. He was a very complex artist who reinvented himself several times during his long career. He was married to Bulgarian-French actress Sylvie Vartan, with whom I had the pleasure of working decades ago on a French TV series. Had Mondjan El, 1973, by Sarolta Zalatnai. She is a stunning Hungarian singer with a very hot voice. For those who never heard of her, she was Madonna before there was a Madonna. And she's still with us. Miss Zalatnai, this video is dedicated to you. Games Guitars Play, 1969, by Harvey Mandel. What a great album. Just Yesterday, 2023, by Weird Harold. Here's another band that never was. They were from California and they released their first single in 1968, but despite being very good, it did not go far and their recordings were shelved. Quiet Storm meets psychedelia. I would say deliciously hypnotic. Try it. My Heart, My Love, 2020 by Lauren Oden, his first album. And I love it. I think everything is right here. Darrell Banks is here, 1967, his first album. He only released 2 albums before he was killed in 1970. He was so good. Gold Digger's album, 2021, by Leon Bridges. He has a beautiful sound, and I loved the jazziness of this entire album. It's so cool, and what a beautiful gold cover. And here's Coming Home, 2015, his first album. Lady Soul, 1968, by Aretha Franklin. Ain't No Way, Baby. Les Liaisons Dangereuses, 1959, by Art Blakey's Jazz Messengers. This is a partial soundtrack to the 1960 classic French movie. The other part of the soundtrack is by Thelonious Monk, and it remained unreleased until 2017. And yes, it is a great film. Night Train, 1968, by The Excursion, their only album, featuring Jerry Allen on the low-ray organ. Pop, jazzy and fast, with a very sharp band. Wow, Genesis, 1971, by Elvin Jones. I love Elvin Jones. He was one of the best drummers ever. He started recording in 1958 with his brothers Hank and Thad Jones, but soon each one of them got their own careers. He recorded close to 50 albums with his own band and more than 100 as a sideman. On Genesis, he was in a creative peak and playing with an unusual quintet with 3 horns and no piano. I'm such a sucker for brass, so I love it. In These Times, 2022, by Makaya McCraven. Gorgeous album. I was in a record shop some time ago, and this one came up, and I knew that this one was an album for me. Get this album, you'll thank me later. Prelusion, 1974, by Patrice Rushen. This was her first album, and it's kinda rare. I found a first pressing at Joint Custody, a great record shop in Washington, D.C. The link is at the top of your screen right now. Get this album, you'll thank me later. Western Union Sound of Love, 1967, by The Five Americans. They only released 4 albums before disbanding in 1971. Their harmonies were beautiful, and they did enjoy some moderate success. Excerpt 54 asks, when did you start collecting records? That's a great question. I don't think record collecting is a voluntary movement. You don't decide to collect albums. I think one day you just realize you love records and music, and you have more of those than most people you know. You also know more about them than most people you know. So in the end, I think the title just fits you like a glove. Record enthusiast, music lover, we are all of those things. But going back to your question, I was very young. That was still in the late 70s, and my godfather gave me a Philips portable turntable for kids. He is an audiophile, and maybe that was his way of planting the seeds of the hobby in me. And I guess it worked. My grandparents bought me some 7-inch records with fairy tales for kids. I found them immediately boring, and I went straight into my parents' albums. Although I don't remember which was the first album I played by myself, I do remember being fascinated by the beautiful colors of the Eclectic label spinning on my dad's turntable. So I guess music and records have always interested me. And I do remember, along with die-cast cars, records were the gifts I enjoyed the most. Here is a very interesting section of old stock new vinyl, right here, which is something you don't find often in most record shops. Twilight Zone, 1983. This is a great soundtrack. Folk of the 80s, Part 3, 1984, by Men Without Hats. Despite being highly influential, I think today they are unjustly forgotten, which is a shame because Ivan Doroshuk pretty much epitomizes the new wave male voice. By the way, Canadian new wave has a completely different sound from American new wave, and this album shows it perfectly. Inside Story, 1986, by Grace Jones. Another album that captures the 80s like few others. It's Everly Time, 1960, by the Everly Brothers. Their first for Warner Brothers and one of their best albums. Chet Atkins plays here. Sympathy, 1915, by Gabby. Beautiful voice and at the same time thought-provoking. Sing for Science, 2022. This is a very strange album. Side A contains beautiful songs by Matt White. Side B contains a number of short lectures about science. Honestly, I don't see the point of Side B because it feels like YouTube. But Side A is awesome, and I wish there were more Side A on Side B. Stand By Me, What You See Is What You Get, 1971, by Pretty Purdy and the Playboys. Bernard Purdy is a master drummer who has tons of great albums that deserve to be rediscovered. And he's still with us. Mr. Purdy, this video is dedicated to you. Roadrunner Records has a number of great reissues, and several rare albums for collectors, like this Dark Side of the Moon from Mobile Fidelity. I'm having such a great time here, and now I'm taking a break. On the next video, we'll explore Roadrunner Records' collection of used rock, with some great gatefolds and bands that disappeared that you should know. Don't miss the next video. There's lots to see here. See you there. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. There's more great content coming soon. Thank you.